There is a very specific pattern of hair thinning that physicians in the United States pay especially close attention to in women after the age of 50. What most women are never told is that something as ordinary as the nuts you snack on every day can quietly make this problem worse, or, when chosen wisely, significantly better. The information I'm sharing today is not guesswork or internet folklore. It is based on research conducted at American universities and clinical observations that directly apply to women in the US and Europe, women going through the same hormonal and metabolic changes you are experiencing right now. Today, I want to walk you through 4 powerful nuts that can genuinely support stronger, thicker hair, and just as importantly, 4 very common nuts that may be undermining your progress without you realizing it. The final nut on the caution list surprises many women because it is sitting in kitchens across America at this very moment. Before we go any further, take a second to support this conversation. Tap the like button and leave a comment with your age. This isn't about algorithms. It's about building a community of women who are navigating these changes together, openly and honestly. Now let's talk about what is actually happening with your hair and why food choices matter more now than they did years ago. We'll begin with the nuts that can truly help, starting with number 4 on the list. Almonds are one of the first foods many US doctors mention when women come in worried about thinning hair. On the surface, almonds seem like a basic, almost boring snack, but inside them is something your scalp is quietly asking for. Almonds contain biotin, a nutrient that plays a direct role in how well your hair-producing cells function. Think of biotin as nourishment for the machinery that builds each strand of hair. After 50, your body does not absorb nutrients with the same efficiency it once did. Research from American universities consistently shows that women in this age group are often mildly deficient in biotin without knowing it. Your hair follicles, those tiny structures in your scalp responsible for producing hair, rely on biotin to stay active. When levels are low, follicles slow down. Hair becomes finer. Growth becomes weaker. What makes almonds even more valuable is their vitamin E content. Vitamin E acts like a protective barrier for your scalp, helping shield it from oxidative stress. If your scalp is the soil, vitamin E helps keep that soil healthy and fertile. Clinical studies referenced by American physicians have shown that women who increased vitamin E intake experienced noticeable improvements in hair thickness over time. You don't need large quantities. In fact, moderation is key. Around 20 almonds a day is what many US nutritionists recommend. Add them to oatmeal, sprinkle them over salads, or keep a small portion handy for an afternoon snack. Hair changes happen slowly. With consistent intake over weeks and months, many women notice less breakage and a stronger feel overall. Almonds are helpful, but they are only the beginning. Coming in at number 3 are walnuts, and these are especially important for women after menopause. Walnuts work through a completely different mechanism that addresses something doctors frequently observe in women over 50, chronic, low-grade inflammation. Walnuts are one of the few nuts that contain meaningful amounts of omega-3 fatty acids. As estrogen levels decline, inflammation tends to rise throughout the body, including the scalp. An inflamed scalp creates a poor environment for hair growth, much like trying to grow plants in dry, damaged soil. Omega-3s help calm this inflammation. Research from U.S. medical centers shows that women who consume adequate omega-3s often notice improvements in scalp comfort, reduced irritation, and better overall hair quality. Walnuts also contain copper, a trace mineral that supports hair structure and strength. While copper won't stop gray hair, it does help prevent the hair you have from becoming brittle and fragile. Most American doctors suggest 7 to 10 walnut halves several times per week. They can be added to yogurt, baked into healthier recipes, or eaten plain. Walnuts nourish hair at the root level, addressing internal conditions that topical products simply cannot reach. Now we move to number 2, where the connection between nuts and hair becomes even more medical. Brazil nuts are larger, richer, and more powerful than most people realize. They are one of the most concentrated natural sources of selenium, a mineral essential for thyroid function. This matters because thyroid issues are extremely common in women over 50, and hair thinning is often one of the earliest signs. The thyroid regulates metabolism, energy production, and hair growth cycles. Studies from American universities show that many women experiencing hair loss have subtle thyroid underperformance, even if it hasn't been formally diagnosed. Selenium supports proper thyroid hormone production. Without it, hair follicles can shift prematurely into a resting phase, leading to increased shedding. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day provide enough selenium for most women. More is not better. Excess selenium can cause problems, which is why moderation is critical. When consumed responsibly, many women notice reduced shedding first, followed by small signs of regrowth over time. Hair cycles move slowly, but thyroid support creates the internal conditions needed for recovery. Finally, we reach the #1 nut that supports hair growth after 50. Cashews often fly under the radar, but they provide zinc, a mineral essential for tissue repair and follicle function. Zinc helps hair follicles move through their growth cycles properly. Deficiency, which is surprisingly common in postmenopausal women, is strongly linked to diffuse thinning across the scalp. Cashews also contain iron and magnesium, both supportive for circulation and cellular repair. When eaten in moderation, they help strengthen individual hair strands, reducing breakage and improving texture. A small serving a few times per week is sufficient. Many women report hair feeling thicker and more resilient over time. Now, this is where we need to pause and shift perspective, because while these 4 nuts can be beneficial, there are others that can quietly sabotage your progress. The first on the caution list often surprises women. Peanuts, which are technically legumes, are prone to contamination with aflatoxins, compounds produced by mold during storage. Aflatoxins place stress on the liver. Your liver plays a critical role in hormone regulation, detoxification, and nutrient processing. When it is overburdened, hair health often suffers. Regular, high intake of peanuts and peanut products can contribute to low-grade inflammation and hormonal imbalance, especially in sensitive women. Occasional consumption is unlikely to cause harm, but daily intake may be problematic for some. Next are pecans, particularly the sweetened versions common in desserts. The issue is not the nut itself, but the sugar load that often accompanies it. High sugar intake worsens insulin resistance, which increases androgen activity. This hormonal shift can shrink hair follicles, especially around the crown. Then we revisit cashews, but from a different angle. In large amounts, cashews contain phytic acid, which can interfere with mineral absorption. When eaten excessively, they may actually reduce zinc and iron availability over time. Moderation remains essential. The final nut on the caution list is macadamia nuts. While often marketed as healthy, they are extremely calorie-dense and high in omega-6 fats. Excess omega-6 promotes inflammation, and inflammation impairs scalp health. Portion control is critical, and frequent large servings can work against hair goals. What I want you to understand is this: hair health after 50 is not about perfection or fear. It is about patterns. What you eat consistently matters more than what you eat occasionally. Almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and moderate cashews can support your hair when consumed thoughtfully. Riskier nuts don't need to be banned, but they do need awareness and restraint. Your hair is responding to the environment you create inside your body every day.